Hey there folks, welcome back to Chits and Cardboard, and today I am here to talk to you about selling games that I love, which is just so difficult. Now, all these games have been sold for one reason or another, which I'll get into later, but this is my top 10 board games I have sold and why. Stick around and I'll catch you in a second. Okay, so before I get into it, I just want to say that I have not included games here that my friends have, so I still have easy access to. If I've gotten rid of a game, there is a legitimate reason, which I will be explaining. With that, let's jump into the top 10 games I sold this year. I should explain that I sell many games. This year I passed how many games I've sold versus how many games I own. I've sold something like 400, I own something like 250. I try to keep how many I own around 250, and I prioritize and curate games that I really love. So I'm at the point where I'm getting rid of games I really love. So some of these hurt, but I'm excited to talk to you all about it. Maybe you won't agree with me. You probably won't agree with me because a lot of these are hot games. But with that said, my number 10 is Vale of Eternity. This is a, not really engine building. It's like a card drafting, combo management, looking for combo-tastic interactions between cards kind of game where you draft these cards in turn order, you draft 2 cards per round, and then these 2 cards can get played to have really bonkers interactions. If you have the artifacts expansion, you have an artifact you can draft as well, and that adds to the interactions in really cool and interesting ways. I think this game is better on BGA. That's literally it. It's just a game that is better on BGA. I play it on BGA and prefer it. For how long the game is, I'm not sure it's worth setting up and tearing down in person, and I think there's other games like Ancient Knowledge that would be played ahead of it in person. So, number 10, Vale of Eternity. Wow, that was quick. Okay, number 9. Whew, I'm about to piss people off. Number 9 was Harmonies. Whew. Harmonies is a fantastic tile drafting, mid-lightweight tile laying, you're trying to create patterns kind of game. It fits the same category as Cascadia, Calico, Verdant, where you're trying to hit certain patterns and certain combinations of tiles in places on your board. The terrain themselves want to be in certain configurations, then there's animal cards that want certain configurations of terrain to be placed. The game is cool. It's been on many of our lists. We've talked about it in depth. When I think about a game I'm going to keep in my 250 games, it has to be one of the best games in its category. I have Harmonies rated an 8, which for me, very high. In the category of tile laying pattern creation games, I'm not picking it up off a shelf. When I compare it to Cascadia, or I compare it to Desolito or to Shallow Sea, it's just not better than those games. And to me, if I want to do the introductory game and teach someone a game, they're going to get Cascadia. If I want them to play a little bit heavier of a game, they're going to get Shallow Sea. If I want them to actually have to burn their brain on a tile laying game, they're playing Desolito. And if I want them to have a Euro game tile laying experience, they're playing Castles of Burgundy. It just wasn't getting played. Unfortunately, number 9 had to go Harmonies. Now, number 8 is a game that I have evangelized personally. Sorry, but also, I think it's a fantastic game, so I'm not sorry. I still have this game rated an 8. It is still the perfect game for its type, and if that hasn't given it to you yet, that game is Heat, Pedal to the Metal. Heat is a really cool hand management racing game. You are essentially shifting gears, and as you shift gears, that is how many cards you have to play. So in 3rd gear, you have to play 3 cards in that turn. Your cards have numbers on them, which are speed that your car is going to move, and you have to try to not move around corners faster than the corner says you should move around it. If you do, you have to take heat from your engine into your deck because you have pushed your car to its limit or past its limit, let's say. Now, the hand management portion is really interesting. The racing portion is really interesting. Why did I get rid of this game? It's because it's too easy to catch up. The catch-up mechanisms in Heat are very, very aggressive. The way you'll usually play Heat is in either this drafted or symmetric game mode where everyone's kind of got the same deck or is drafting 2 or 3 unique cards to a deck. It's just so easy to catch back up when someone's ahead of you because there's something called slipstreaming where if you're behind someone you can move 2 spaces towards them, and there's something called, if you're in last place, there's something called boost where you can boost yourself 1 spot, and if you're far enough back in straightaways and stuff, you can even actually use Heat to boost faster and faster and kind of catch up to where you can slipstream. I think that there's thinky moments where the game rewards you so much for being able to plan around getting an extra turn on everybody else, whether you take Heat at the right time or you navigate a 2-turn bend really smart or whatever. but then it punishes you for being smart because people can just catch up so easily. And it's not about winning the game, it's that even if I'm playing and someone's winning, I don't feel like I should be able to catch up as easy as I do. Relative to other racing games, I think Downforce is great, I think Joyride Turbo is great, I think if you want something a little more ridiculous and lighthearted, Thunder Road Vendetta is great, I think Pole Position is great. But with that said, that is the game that is in my number 8 spot. It is Heat, Pedal to the Metal. Number 7, whew, sorry for how rambly this is. I don't have B-roll for most of these games, I don't own them anymore. Number 7 is Ankh, Gods of Egypt. I love Eric Lang. I love all of Eric Lang's games. I haven't had one that I've played and not liked. Eric Lang has a lot of games now, and as such, Ankh has fallen down on the totem pole for where in his games I feel it should be and if I should own it or not. He has Cyberpunk now, that's great. I think Blood Rage is fantastic, obviously. I think Rising Sun is also a strong contender. I think if you're looking at other games that are like in a comparable universe, I think Inish and Galactic Renaissance are comparable area control games that are also phenomenal. And as far as pecking order goes, Ankh just fell so far down that it doesn't really get played. And that's why I got rid of it. So I hadn't played Ankh in 2 years. And I think Ankh is such a cool, abstract 2-player chess match. I think even at 3, it's decent, though I really don't love the combining of God's comeback mechanic thing that they do if someone gets eliminated at some point on the victory points track. I think the production is great. I think the UI UX of feeling like gods moving these huge pieces around a map feels great, but yeah, just not something I thought I needed to keep around. I had all of it, it was taking up a lot of space, and it wasn't getting played, so that is my number 7, Ankh, Gods of Egypt. Okay, number 6. Number 6 is widely regarded as the best game of 2024, and I'm probably gonna catch some flack for this, but that game is Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire is a fantastic solo duo, like cooperative experience. I think they've ported the video game really well, and once again, I'll clarify, I love all the games we're talking about here. I just haven't kept them for reasons that I'll be discussing. So the adaptation on board takes too long. Like there's not that much management, there's not that much upkeep, but for some reason, even at 2 players, the game takes like 4 hours to get through. It takes forever. I don't know why, and I prefer playing the video game because it does the same feeling in a lot less time, and you're still ultimately playing a card game. So like the interface hasn't really changed that much. Now, I know the Slay the Spire board game has co-op, and co-op is really cool, but Slay the Spire 2 has added co-op. I think if you like the board game, this is not to bash you, the game is fantastic. If it's one of your only cooperative games, you'll be happy with it. I think it adapts co-op really well. I don't play co-op that much, and even if I am, I'm playing like Uprising Curse of the Last Emperor, I'm playing Spirit Island, I'm playing Unsettled, I'm playing, you know, there's like Earthborn Rangers, Vantage. There's a bunch of games I'd probably pick up that have a lesser footprint as far as time is concerned and a little more substance or some combination of experience that add to what Slay the Spire was doing. And I wanted to love it so much and play it more that I sold it the first time. I bought it back and then I sold it again within like 6 months. So I really tried to actually keep that one around. I love the game a lot, but it just wasn't getting tabled over anything else. So Slay the Spire, number 6. I'm really sorry. I'm sure that's gonna offend some people. Now, number 5 is a very cool engine building, tableau destruction game, and that might have given it away. It's from Rio Grande, and that game is Moon Colony Bloodbath, which also fantastic game. This is it's hard to explain, but it's kind of like a simultaneous action game where like you have 4 actions to choose from, and the way the action deck works is like there's an action deck, but then there's bad cards in the action deck, and whenever a bad card comes out, you start destroying stuff in your tableau or people die. When you're choosing actions, you do your action, everyone does an action, you draw the next card. If it's an action card, you all do actions. If it's bad cards, something bad happens to all of you. There's also bonus cards that certain characters can put in to get currency and stuff, and you keep playing through this deck over and over and over. Every time you empty the deck, you add events into the deck. You also add these things called robots, which are like really bad things that kind of start destroying your tableau. So you're playing this moon colony and you have population, and your population starts to die slowly, and the last one standing wins. It's really clever, it's really fun. It's a great game, and I strongly actually encourage you buy it. It's just a game that has a lifespan, and that lifespan is around 10 plays. I think that after that, you've kind of seen what the event deck and the robot deck has to offer, and I think the gameplay gets super repetitive. I think that you should buy it to play it those 7 to 10 times and then pass it on to someone who can enjoy it, because it is a really funny experience watching this all happen to everyone and hoping you're not going to be the first one to bow out. That is Moon Colony Bloodbath. It is actually fantastic. I feel like I got what I wanted out of the game, so I didn't need to play it anymore and got rid of it for that reason. The number 4 on this list is Galileo Galilei, which is one of the more hyped games this year. So again, I am ready for backlash. Now, why did I sell this game? It's a good question. It's a cool game. It is Thomas Holik's follow-up to SETI, and it is an action selection type Euro game where you're playing as one of the great astronomers using this telescope at like different angles to choose your actions, and the telescope kind of has like a rondelle type thing where you have to move it forward. The action selection is cool, but the game is just like a bunch of like track progression. So like you're doing actions to gain resources, to move up tracks, to do things on those tracks, trying to create combos between like track hits and the next thing you do. And it's not that heavy. And I feel like it kind of strips the theme away. Also, you're using your resources or combinations of resources to fill these constellations, and the constellations slot into your board. And then you can combo off the constellations by moving your pieces like horizontally across the constellation cards. It's a cool, rewarding gameplay loop. I just don't think it was good enough. I think that while SETI is fantastic and will certainly be sticking around, I think Galileo has a hard time standing up to any of the midweight Euro games that are in the collection that I've decided to keep. Things like Kinfire Council more recently, things like Distilled, things like Mistwind, things like, I'm looking around to see some, Amalfi, Snow Planner. I have so many that are combo-tastic-y little midweight Euro games that I don't feel like I needed to keep it around. I also think it takes a little too long for how heavy it is, which I didn't love. Still a fantastic game. I definitely recommend you trying it if you like Thomas Holik's design. You may very well disagree with me. That was my number 4, Galileo Galilei. Number 3, we're in the top 3 games that I've but chosen to sell off. And these are very painful decisions now. And this game is actually 3 games I'm gonna bundle into one, and it is Gaia Project. But more accurately, it is Terra Mystica, Gaia Project, and Age of Innovation. I got rid of the entire bloodline. Yeah, whew. They're great games. They're undeniably iconic and great games. I think they're a bit dated as far as design goes. I think for the time they take, there are many other games I would rather play, like Lacerda games or some of the Shem Phillips Garfield games. For the weight they're at and how long they take, I also don't love how abstract they are and how like optimized the games have gotten, especially Gaia and Terra Mystica. I feel like you can pre-program your first like 4 or 5 turns, and I don't like that in games because it's very punishing if you mess those turns up, and it is very difficult to come back, and I don't like being out of a game in the first 4 turns. Now, I know what those first 4 turns are, or at least I have an idea of what they should look like, but if someone new is coming in, it's extra punishing. It's very like almost Splotter adjacent. Like I have the same issue with Food Chain Magnet, but I've kept Food Chain Magnet. I don't know why I kept Food Chain Magnet. Same kind of issue I have with it, but it's just such a cool puzzle versus a game like Gaia Project, which I've played enough now that I think it was time to move on from that series. Now, Fea's Swamp is coming out, and that game looks super cool, and I will probably try it because I am a FOMO freak, and I will try as many games as I can. I try to play new games. I like new experiences, but I still encourage people to try them. I actually think I'd probably try Terra Mystica of the 3, because you can get it right now for a really good price. It seems like a lot of people are selling them. Like you can get the big box for like 60 bucks Canadian, which is a great deal, 70 if you find the right person selling it. And I think you'll get a lot of gameplay out of it. I just, where I'm at in my collection and the progression and the curation, I don't think I needed to keep it around. So that was my number 3, technically 3 number 3s, yeah. Now to number 2. Number 2 was probably the best solo game that I had. I just don't play solo that much, and there's other reasons to get rid of it, but that game was Final Girl. Final Girl Season 1 and Season 2. Now, I actually like Final Girl. I think it's a really cool solo experience. It's just a very intense solo experience. It's also fairly luck-based versus other solo experiences, and not like, it's very thematic, just not that enthralling. If I was trying to like reason out why I sold it, I actually don't know. It was just taking up a lot of space, and I really think that that space was better used for something else. And I mean, you can make the argument, you could see some of my games, probably not, but like, I don't find it as enthralling or captivating as something with more story, because when I'm playing solo, usually I've been stressed out for the day and I'm trying to unwind and relax, not freak out because a killer is coming after me, is the best thing I can think of. I have and play Vantage. Spirit Island is kind of the same, but a little more tactile, a little less freaky deaky. Yeah, I just think that the other games, Earthborn Rangers, Vantage, Unsettled, lean a little more into the thematic narrative and a little less into just the thriller action, and I prefer those games for that format. And solo isn't my favorite format to begin with, especially solo only. The common thing about all these games is I can play them with other people. And that's why I got rid of Final Girl, even though I think I have it rated an 8.5. It's a phenomenal game. Yeah, now, number one, and this is my pass, this is my buy, because this is the game that you literally, like, I just cannot get this played. I've tried so hard. It is one of my favorite games ever, and it was so painful to get rid of because it meant admitting defeat, and that game was Twilight Imperium 4th edition with Prophecy of Kings. It makes me sad to think about it. I love Twilight Imperium. I feel like Twilight Imperium is maybe the best board game experience ever. I play with a rotating play group, and as such, I haven't always had the ability to plan, or actually I've never had the ability to plan 2 days straight of the same game. I've really wanted to, it's not for lack of trying, and that's why I sold it. I think that I have gotten to play Twilight Imperium on Discord on TTS with some of the Space Cats Peace Turtles folks a few times, and I like the format. It's very cool, but it's not the same as the galactic presence on the table working on your faction, but I never got to play it in person, my copy at least. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm at the point where if I can go to a convention and play the game all day at a convention, I'd probably even still do it, but it's not a game that I need to own. The other copy that was in our group also got sold, so we literally don't have a copy anymore, which is heartbreaking, but that is the top game I no longer get to play because I have sold on because my board game collection got too big and I was trying to be reasonable. And with that, that is my top 10 games I have sold. I hope you enjoy the video. If you resonate with anything I've said, please comment down below. If you disagree with me and think I'm crazy for getting rid of something, feel free to blast me as well. I'd love to talk about it because it's so interesting. I posted my collection on Reddit recently, and people commented stuff like, oh my gosh, it's crazy how few games we have in common. And I love that. That's not crazy at all. That means that our hobby is so amazing that I have 250 games and you can have 5 crossovers with me and 250 games of your own, and all 500 of those games are bangers for different reasons. And that is amazing. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments again if you agree or disagree, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.